The works of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, are some of the most powerful and popular writings of antiquity. His meditations on life, death, and the human condition are still relevant today and offer us a pathway to a more meaningful, mindful life. Today, we'll explore some of the lessons we can take from Marcus Aurelius and how they can help us to embrace mortality and live with presence. Marcus Aurelius was a philosopher and Roman emperor who is known for his philosophical works, such as Meditations. His writing allows us to find it in an enlivening force of moral solidity in the face of our ephemeral existence, emphasizing principles of stoicism and self-control. His teachings were centered upon a Greco-Roman worldview and stressed on cultivating a strong moral character. In his work, Marcus Aurelius encourages individuals to find contentment in their current circumstances and develop an inner peace amidst the chaos of life. He was a proponent of Stoicism, which focused on living in harmony with nature and avoiding excess pleasure and pain. This philosophy was famously demonstrated by Marcus Aurelius, who found solace in the idea that Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both. They were absorbed alike into the life force of the world. This concept of seeing death in a positive light led to a life of moderation for Marcus Aurelius, allowing him to focus on living a life of simplicity and virtue. His concepts of self-discipline, duty, and perseverance remain relevant to this day, inspiring millions of people around the world. His rational thinking that all sorts of people have died, that no profession is guaranteed a special immunity from death. It has galvanized many to lead better lives. He was a Stoic philosopher who wrote extensively on the subject of death. He famously wrote, "Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back." His belief was that death was natural and should be embraced as part of life, or dissolved alike into atoms. As a Stoic philosopher, he believed in living life to the fullest and embracing death when the time came. His philosophy has been an inspiration to people around the world for centuries and still resonates today. He believed that every life should be lived with an awareness of its finite nature, and that we should strive to make the most of our time here on Earth. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics of Oregonian taught that all life is connected, and that our own lives should be lived in harmony and in service to others. Now extend it to other species, and we can see how this philosophy applies to the environment and our place in it, seeking to live a balanced and harmonious life with the earth and its inhabitants. He also taught that it is through our acceptance of death that we can truly appreciate and savor life's precious moments. Thereafter, he believed just as the incessant progression of time remakes eternity, it is through our acceptance of death that we can truly appreciate and savor life's precious moments. His teachings remain just as relevant today as when he first taught them thousands of years ago. Living with presence helps us to focus on the present moment and be mindful of our thoughts and actions, a lesson that Marcus Aurelius learned and one we can all benefit from. The Roman emperor famously said that, "The only thing that isn't worthless is to live this life out truthfully and rightly, and be patient with those who don't." In his Meditations, he further explains that one should strive to be aware of their thoughts and actions, ensuring that each move is made intentionally and purposefully. With this intentionality, Marcus Aurelius believed we can live our lives more efficiently and with greater joy. As we strive to focus on the present moment with an open heart, we too can learn from the lessons of Marcus Aurelius. It can help us to appreciate life's simple pleasures and not take things for granted just as the incessant progression of time remakes eternity. This is perhaps why he spent much of his life trying to grasp and appreciate the beauty of life in the present moment. By living simply and humbly and staying true to his Stoic ideals of self-discipline and self-control, he sought to bring out the best in himself and in others. His teachings allude to a life that is driven by eternal values rather than just the short-term whims of society. Ultimately, he was a role model for how we can lead just and meaningful lives, even during difficult stretches of history.